You've heard about the dangers of seed oils. I agree. In processed food, all seed oil is bad. Why? Because it's fragile. But here's the lesson. Fish oil is worse. So everyone's attacking seed oils, which could be good, but fish oils are so fragile, they're never good. Quick lesson. Omega-3 fats, ALA. Most of the ALA is from plants and seeds. Most of it mainly. You can find it in meat. There's 3 double bonds. Here's the first lesson. The more double bonds there are in a fat, the more fragile it is. That's all you have to know. I don't want to overcomplicate the science. Omega-3 also breaks down into 2 types of fish oil, the EPA and the DHA. Double bonds, 5 in this, the EPA, which is found in fish oil, in 6 double bonds in DHA. Compare that to seed oils, which typically has 3 in the omega-6 linoleic acid. So there's more double bonds in fish oil than seed oils, meaning it's more fragile. Listen, it goes rancid the moment it even hits your mouth. Nobody should ingest fish oil. That's not my opinion. Look at all the studies on it. The studies show the stuff's fragile and it causes oxidation and damage.
Okay. So the studies showed quite the opposite, that fish oil and supplementation is very healthy for you. In fact, they've even shown supplementation to even be as good, if not better, than just some of the fish because of the mercury in fish and some of these things. So he is totally smoking crack. There was no question he's going somewhere else. Hey, listen, anything can get rancid and toxic when you're extracting oil from a fish and you're putting it. But if you look at all your top manufacturers of omega-3 fatty acids, with the DHA and the EPA, which we need, and it's totally underconsumed in the U.S., real problem. Yeah. So you definitely want to get it from fatty fish. Salmon or your sardines. Most people don't want to eat that kind of stuff. Mackerel. Okay, so a lot of fish people don't like to eat, except other than salmon. You can get omega-3s, good ones from there. And the fact that it gets toxic before it gets in your mouth, God, look at all these people that are dying from these fish when they eat fish, healthy fish. I mean, obviously, he's just total fear-mongering here. When you have all your manufacturers that actually do it, like, with the one we use up in Alaska and Bering Strait up there, they get the fish immediately extracted and it goes into container. So there's no toxicity. And you can measure the toxicity. You can measure it everywhere in an omega-3 thing, and you can publish it to show that there is no rancidity, no toxic stuff. So he is just being quite funny. I mean, I think it's just like he's being a comedian here.
I don't know. I think he had some sort of health scare or something in the past, and he became like a total like hypochondriac. But I mean, he says all this shit, and then he drives a car. He has Wi-Fi in his house. He has this is all the stuff that he tries to like tell you. You got to be careful of. Like you can't use laundry detergent. You can't But
the fact is, just look at all the studies. Yeah, look at all the studies. Yeah. All you're going to see is that it's good for you. That omega-3s are very good for you, eating, whether you get it from fish or you add on a supplement to get it. And the supplements are all certified. They're certified clean. Yeah. You can't cheat the system. Especially when they're NSF certified, they go through all of that toxicity stuff. So yeah, in fact, they're probably more protected than fish.
And then there's all those studies that show like the higher omega-3 index, the lower mortality.
Exactly,
right?
The healthier, the better cardiovascular shape.
I don't know if they're saying that's from not even supplementing fish, but
no,
fish oils. But I mean,
the omega-3 it tells you how much DHA and EPA are like in your erythrocytes, your blood cells. And when we see that, that's why the more you have in there, the slipperier they are, the better everything flows, everything. And EPA and DHA, they're what we call resolvers. They resolve the inflammation phases of all parts of our body. There's constant inflammation going on in your body because it has to. As it repairs things, you get sick, inflammation starts, you get all that stuff there. But the problem is you get too much inflammation. When you get an injury, too much, right? Yeah. Which is one of the reasons why we compress and put some ice there to kind of get the inflammation out, because eating good tissue. And what EPA and DHA, and the reason we have so many problems with people's immune systems and they get sick and they end up on ventilators, because the over-inflammation takes place. They can't control it because they don't get enough EPA, DHA. That's not all. There's other things too, but that's a big part of it. Yeah. They're what we call resolvins. They resolve the inflammation phase that is necessary to clean things out, and then it resolves it and it gets back to normal very quick. So you get over these things very quickly without having to go on a ventilator and stuff.
So and he's basically just saying it does the exact opposite.
I know, isn't that amazing? I know. It really is. So I guess you're right. I mean, so I guess to your point, what do you call that? They're baiting people to
Yeah, well,
You know,
the first guy, the guy right before, I think was like rage baiting. But
Yeah.
this guy's dead serious when he says.
You
this
think
stuff.
so?
I mean, I don't know. You said you knew a guy back in the day who used to spew a bunch of bullshit, and he didn't believe any of it.
He didn't believe any of it. Yeah, he did that on purpose. And then when he died, he got exposed.
And then you get
but
to
I'm just saying, it's like that's how you make a living.
Yeah.
So they'll just do it, you know, and then you can want to follow them around and see if they're really doing that, like that Liver King guy.
Right. So that's
It's just so funny. All these, it really is all the way around.
so-
But I guess that's it. I mean, it's part of the internet. But when it comes to nutrition
in health.
and health, I mean, the majority of these influencers, and I'm not talking about scientists that are out there, but influencers, nutrition influencers, they are people that know nothing about nutrition, selling nutrition to people that know nothing about nutrition.
Yeah.
And that's the crime. And they're batting down this. They're holding this down up in Europe right now. They're holding them accountable. You know, so you're seeing all kinds of issues getting fact checked before they can publish this stuff.
Yeah. And to wrap up that video, yes, fish oils are very clearly right.
Yes, correct.
So,
Very clearly right.
You brought
and good for you. Just get the right amount. Yeah.